Welcome back. Today we have a new build. It's the Armattan Tadpole. This is a micro that we're doing. We're going to be running 2.5 inch props, 2.5 inch I think, with some T-motor motors here. So this is their newest micro frame. It's either 2 or 2.5 inch. So VTX we're going to be running, and I'll get to that in a second, but here are the motors. These are the T-motor F10 7500 kV. We're going to be running 3S, which this should be perfect for. Probably run, like a 2540 prop or something like that, whatever I have in my box. So we'll be putting those on it. And then the flight stack itself is an HGLRC FD413, and this is a 16 by 16 stack. Let's try not to destroy everything, which are just itty bitty. There we go again, itty bitty. The drinking game. This flight stack, I actually like and prefer this flight stack over the iFlight, even though the quality on HGLRC isn't like top of the line or anything. The reason I like it is because it doesn't use pins to connect the two boards together. So in the HGLRC, or I'm sorry, in the iFlight, they are stuck together with pins. And what that means, you can't arrange them like this or like this or like this. You have to literally stack them. And with a cable that goes between the flight controller and the ESC, what you have are more options, basically. Basically, I can run this. I can set these, 10 inches apart if I want. The nice thing about this is that if we have limited space or low deck or anything, we can make this work. And that's one of the reasons why I picked up a couple of these when they were on sale. And again, it's just a little F4. It's nothing fancy. It's going to fly. It's probably not the greatest thing in the world, but it is a micro, and I'm going to fly it around and maybe fly it indoors. We'll see. Might fly it around the basement here, but yeah, we should be able to get this together pretty quick. And then the camera. We're going to be running a crossfire. I'm reusing a crossfire. I just pulled apart a long range build that I'd done, and it just wasn't anything. I threw it together in a day or so. But the VTX is an Eachine Nano. This is my first foray with the Eachine, and I will see if I like this any better than the Unify Pro. I mean, everyone says that this is lighter and better, and I don't know. We'll see. I have a hard time believing much is better than than TBS's stuff. But I'm a TBS fanboy, so you take it with a grain of salt. So, as you should anything anyone says, really. I mean, and then the camera. So I was looking through my box, and I have a Runcam Nano, but I must have mislaid it. This is the Caddx Kangaroo, and honestly, I don't remember when I bought this. But this will end up in this build, and should be a nice little camera. At least it looks like a nice one. We'll see. We'll see what it all looks like. It certainly seems put together. It's got a little backing plate here. Yeah. So, wires. Configure it. We'll get it set up and make it work. All right. And there's even this little adapter that comes in the box. Crazy. Yep. So we'll get this guy started and go from there. All right, so we got our flight stack out. First things first, let's tear into the frame and see what comes in the kit. Yeah, Armattan. I can never remember how to pronounce it. So it's a little one piece. It's just like a scaled down chameleon, I guess. It's a little one piece. It's got a serial number. So mine is TP0133 on it. I think all of them have serial numbers. Don't quote me on that, but I think they do. It's got two little straps to hold your battery down. And this is the bottom plate. The bottom plate looks to be a little bit flexy. I'm not going to lie. Now I've heard that the way this is cut, this may not be the best orientation for carbon fiber. It may, so if you notice, I don't know if you can see it very well, but the carbon fiber kind of runs as though it's been laid in this direction, and it should probably be turned 180 or something like that, or it should be turned 45 and then cut in this manner, and that creates more waste, obviously, in your machining and your cutting processes. But apparently it makes for stronger arms and everything. Yeah, I want to say that's 1.5 or 2 millimeter base. It's not much. All right, now let's open up this guy. I could check it, but that would mean taking out my caliper. And the components here, I believe these are aluminum or magnesium, and then the top plate, and then a couple of screws, and then so let's get our little pieces out. Oh, come on. Yeah, they feel really nicely well done. It might actually be centered metal. Looking at it now, I'm not sure if it's cast aluminum or not. If it were cast, yeah, I think it might be centered metal, but that's still okay. Metal parts, centered metal parts are very strong. They're used as gears and other things, and tons of applications. So it's not a slight in any way. It's just a cheaper and easier way to manufacture components. It's basically powdered metal and epoxy and a binder, usually something like not lead, but tin or even magnesium, depending on the application, can be used to compress those things together, and then it's heated inside of a mold, and it makes for very nice, strong metal parts that are good wear, that have good wear properties. So things like, if you look inside of a mixer or something like that you use in your kitchen, you're going to see centered metal parts, I guarantee it, unless it's 50 years old or something. But yeah, stickers. I must be the only one in the world that hates stickers, because I get stickers on every package and I'm like, ugh, stickers. All right. Comes with instructions. Oh boy. All right. So it says take this little guy, which is made out of rubber, by the way, and stick it. The little hooked edges go down into the back, and this little guy, the little U section. It's not really much of a U, is it? Yeah, it's soft. I'm not going to cut it. Kind of wiggle it, shove it in there. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Tip, you may need to wiggle the rubber antenna mount a bit in the tail post until it seats properly. You reckon? Alright. I don't know if that's seated properly or not, but it's seated. Okay. And there's the tail portion of the build. Done. Alright. And before we jump straight into this, let's figure out what they give us in terms of mounting options. So we've got this is drilled for what appears to be 16 by 16. I don't see any 20 by 20 or other. You can probably do AIO on this, actually. Now, maybe. I don't know. That might be a stretch there, but it certainly doesn't look impossible. And then the motors are 9 by 9 mounting. And then what else we got here? So we've got 2 for the rear, 2 for the front, 2 for the rear again, 2 for the front again, and 4 for our, yeah. So it does look like AIO for root boards. Yep, and it says we've got M2 by 5 times 4. I didn't get any of these, so, or did I? And I just overlooked them. Guess not. Anyway, we'll get it together. No worries. We've got a whole kit full of stuff here. We've got this guy, which we'll need, these, and this. I don't know that I'm going to run a cap on this unless I can find a good spot to make it fit. And these are just, yeah, we can make those work. No reason why we can't, anyway. Okay, we'll come up from the bottom, and we'll put a, I guess a rubber on there. And is this guy going to go down? That's really close to the front, huh? We've got 1, 2. Yeah. Alright. We'll run this guy on top. And then this will come out the side. Normally there's a little arrow that points in the direction of the front, but I'll be damned if I'm seeing it. So we'll just guess. And this guy, certainly long enough, I think. Yep. We'll mount it up like that. Okay. Let's do the motors first, and then we'll wire everything in. That ought to be good. Motors. Motor. Yeah, I haven't used these particular motors before. I've used T-motor a couple of times, my other builds, but not these F10s. And oh, it's been nice. Yeah. should be all right for this, I think. And it comes with a little goodie bag. Yeah, all right. And this is rebuildable apparently. In case you ever wreck it or destroy it, you can take it apart. Although I don't know why you would for like a $10 motor, but hey, you know, it's nice to have the option, I suppose. And we are going to come up through a. That's going to be too much coming through. So what I tend to do is just go through one at a time. That should be just about perfect, I think. Using these little super micro guys, we'll set this off to the side here. We'll set the longer ones off to the side. And we'll position our motor and screw in like so. Yep. And that should be just about perfect. Okay, come on, lay flat. I have some race wire, and I have some thin race wire. No, I'm going to skip it on this build. There are builds where I definitely need race wire, and this isn't one of them. But yeah, should be a fun little flyer, I hope, on 2 or 3S. Got some 450 packs and some 300 packs. So, should be enough to keep it in the air for a couple minutes. Anyway. And I think Drew, or Stu, not Drew, Stu, from UAV Tech Futures, I can never remember. He really liked this Armattan Tadpole. And he said that 450 seemed to be the sweet spot with it on 3S. And so hopefully that works out for me as well. Alright. So much garbage. So much garbage. Garbage galore. Alright. There's that, and then what? Yeah. Might as well open up all of them. Pull that out. Okay, and one last one. Let's see here, we got that guy, and these itty bitty. And we want the little ones. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. The next one. You know, I didn't actually check the orientation of this, so I will say that the logo is going down, not up. Or logo, the serial number. So that's how I'm choosing to mount it. I don't see any major differences between the top and the bottom. And that's usually the case on some of these, but on others, like 5 inches, you might want to double check everything a couple times. Otherwise you end up flipping them around. Real pain in the ass. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be hopefully a fun one to fly. I gotta say, I built the Tiny Shark a couple weeks ago and flew it again and really love it. I gotta say, I am just enamored with it, honestly. The handling of it, the flight, the only thing that's a little bit not awesome about it is the camera. And that's because I used that cheap-ass $3 camera on that thing. But otherwise, it's a damn fine flyer. I mean, 3 or 4 minutes, good. You know, the video does something weird where closer it is to me, the more colorized it is. So I don't know what that's about, but, you know, I'll figure it out. It might just be that the VTX is in the lowest setting or something like that. And it just needs to be adjusted. But, yeah, that camera, it's a little blurry, a little washed out. And so, you know, maybe if I strap on a slightly different camera to it, I mean, the thing is, maybe I'll use a Wolf Whoop or something similar cam on it rather than that cheapy over sky cam that I found on clearance. Yeah, they just goes and flies, and I hit tree branches with it and it just kind of bounced off of them because it's props out. So rather than dragging the twig into the props and kind of locking it there, just kind of pushed it out of the way, bounced off the tree. It was kind of it was a good time flying that one around over the holidays. And I gotta say, very surprising how much I enjoyed it, because it was sort of my first real micro build, because I'd done a number of rebuilds of the Beta FPV / Hum Quad HX 100, and I'm a better pilot now than when I bought it. That's there's no doubt about that. But I just never really felt, I didn't like the 4x, or I guess I should say square, the typical square. I didn't like that typical square design, and I didn't like how it flew. It always felt wobbly in the wrong way, like standing on a ball. I know that's been used to describe how helicopters sometimes feel, but it was like that, only 10 times worse. That being said, I was on beta flight 3 something, and I really haven't flown it since. I haven't put 4.1 on it. I haven't played with it enough to really say that I hate it. But yeah, I just not my favorite quad of all time. And then that Tiny Shark we did, it's just been wonderful. I'm going to leave this super long because I might run it out the top of the back and up over. So I'm going to leave it that length and just retin it. Yeah, that'll be good. And I'm going to tin all these pads while I'm at it. Yeah, let's get this guy secured in. And the cat is down here, and the dog is down here, because we're back from vacation, and they miss the hell out of us. I leave the door unlocked upstairs to the basement. They go apeshit. Oh, come on. Good. All right. I'm going to re-tin these guys. Good. All right. Now, so this guy says battery and ground, which means ground is on this side. I'm going to set this over here so I don't burn the shit out of myself. Yeah, here we go. Ground, battery. And we'll flip it over and double check, but I feel pretty comfortable. Okay. It's not liking me today. Battery, red, ground, black. And the negative. Always double check this. I've actually gotten them from the factory with the red wire run to negative and the black wire run to positive. Always double check. In fact, I ended up, this was on an RC car actually, with having to buy a separate receiver again because it blew because I didn't check it. I you know me, I check just about everything, but I bought a replacement board because I was building something different, and cats and dogs fighting. I got sloppy and I wasn't paying attention and let that happen. Okay. Alright, so what I did there is basically I wedged the board in my little, and I bought this stick vise off Amazon and it's been wonderful. I strongly recommend that you buy one. You know, you buy something like this and you think, oh, I'll probably never use it. It's just a tool. It's a couple bucks. It's been the greatest thing I think I've used for this And I went looking for something like this after watching Mr. Steele do a build, his build of his Apex. And he had a wooden solder buddy or something like that, which is no longer made, sadly. But it, I found something equivalent here, and really, it's just been a great little, tool to have. But yeah, so these are notched pads. Using a surface mount tip like I am, you can see it has sort of an angle to it like that. So it comes up and, you know, there's a flat side to it. I got that flat, that little tip, into the notch, and then I fed the solder in like that. And that's how I ended up doing these. There's one here that I didn't get, so I need to redo that one. And it sounds like my family is home, so this will be the end of this part. And we'll pick up in a little bit.